Scope link is out. Timer. Bingo, we are live. What's going on, everybody? Live before lock, Monday, May 6th. And I'm excited. I get to finally talk about this slate. Weird not having myself on the strategy show this morning.
Yeah, must be a little bit different for you because you've been doing NBA basically every morning and then MLB for the first month. So
yeah, I think it's the first time I haven't done a strategy show while being at my house since I started here.
Yeah. By the way, you just got your wish, Josh.
Dodgers lineup.
You're so pessimistic, and now this Dodgers lineup already out.
Me pessimistic? Never.
Yeah.
Is it really out?
It's out.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
out. It is normal. It's the exact lineup we had projected.
Peterson, Seager, Turner, Bellinger, Muncy, Kike. Oh, I had Kike.
No Kike.
Yeah.
The only one. Yep, that's the only one I had. Okay. It looked good, though. Kike for Taylor. Is that right? Maybe the order a little bit switched around.
Yeah, Taylor in, Kike out. So we're waiting on two lineups yet, Mets and Padres, but we are getting there. How many games? 9-gamer tonight, right?
9 games.
Okay.
Jake must have just woke up. I did not. I've been up. I've been up in Adams since, 7:30 my time? Something like that? Does it look like I just got up?
I wish I just got up. I did not. I was too busy watching Liverpool's Premier League title hopes dwindle by a legendary strike from a center back. It was sadness. A bit major sadness. But that's not what everybody's here for. People are here for the old DFS takes. So let's start here. What is standing out for you from a hitting perspective? Where are the stacks at that you're looking for?
I think, I don't know, I'm not going to be saying anything that everyone else isn't thinking, but I'm getting a lot of Boston and a ton of Houston and a lot of Cardinals as well. As far as like teams that have popped up for me a little bit, the Twins, actually, I was not on them earlier today when I was crunching. And now as I've started to do some more crunching and weigh in ownership and stuff, they've come up for me a decent amount, which is a little bit surprising. And
they are 5th for me on DraftKings, so I share a little bit of love with you.
Okay. Let's see where they're at. I mean, actually, they're getting some ownership, so I guess that's not all that shocking that they're coming up for me a little bit. St. Louis, Miami. Do you have Miami as one of the higher exposed stacks? Or just like hitting exposure total?
Wait, do you mean like projected?
Projected, yeah, based on our ownership projections.
I have not looked at our ownership projections in a while, but let me grab it quick.
So
I don't tend to update until they're all in. But
okay.
I'm refreshing the table now. So Miami is,
I mean, they look middle 8th. Of the pack. Yeah,
8th.
So that's kind of weird.
I had a ton of them on my first crunch this morning.
Me too, and I don't like it. I mean, I'm fine using a couple of guys as one-offs like Anderson and Alfaro. I think were the couple of guys me and Adam were kind of on this morning. They're just dirt cheap, and that's why they're going to pop up a little bit.
Yeah. I was getting a lot of them fading the Hamels ownership.
Yeah, good leverage. I mean, so you understand why you can get to them. I just don't really love playing any sort of chalky Marlins, I suppose.
I'm kind of excited that they are getting ownership. That way I can get to less of them because you never want them. I wasn't happy about that leverage. So I'd rather get put in a position where it goes away.
Yeah.
I'm never excited to get the Marlins.
No, why would you be?
You mentioned the Red Sox. They are so clearly my top team. It's not even funny. Completely different level on FanDuel. They are like 50% better than every other team. It won't matter at all to me what their ownership gets to. I'll be right there. They just grade out so much better than everybody else that I want them as a base. They're going to be really hard for me to avoid. On DK, Red Sox, Phillies, Brewers are my top 3. On FanDuel, Red Sox, Brewers, Dodgers. Now, this is just value rankings. This has nothing to do with my exposures, which will change dramatically compared to how I have teams ranked. But yeah, Red Sox are really hard to avoid.
Yeah, you don't need to fade them, I don't think, and you can get different at your pitching. There's so many good options up top. There's like 4 or 5 guys that you could argue as the number one overall play. So you can't have 50% ownership on all those guys, right? I mean, the field can't. So
No, I'm gonna try.
yeah, I'm basically playing 6 guys. Oh no, yeah, 6 guys. So
I'll have 1 through 9, and I would expect to have 15+% of everyone, maybe even more.
For
Red
who?
Sox.
Oh, okay. No. I meant 6 pitchers. Sorry.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I'll have 1 through 9 for sure. There's just no real reason to avoid them, even if Means is good and you hate Means. So let's just get that out of the way. You think he's terrible.
He's the worst pitching option on the slate today.
I think at that price, I can't really argue. That's a god-awful price.
I have him 3 points less than Jacob Junis. I don't even find it to be close.
Yeah, I can't really argue that. I mean, you could almost make a case for like every other pitcher, I think, on this slate. Yeah, I don't think there's any reason to go to Means, because even if he has a good game, the good game is probably going to be 5 innings, 1 earned run, and 3 strikeouts or 4 strikeouts. So
this is the worst scenario he's had all year by a mile.
It's going up against Boston is a lot of players' worst scenarios.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that makes me excited. That's the reason Boston grades out so well, just in case anybody's curious. Why they have at an aggregate 6.5% target score per dollar. Next closest team 4.4. They're seriously like 50% better than everybody else on FanDuel for me today. So you mentioned you're playing 6 pitchers. Mm-hmm. Did you mention the pitchers, or was I just not listening?
I did not.
Can I try to guess?
Yeah, I think you can.
Okay. Cole, DeGrom, Scherzer. I'd be very surprised if you're not playing one of those guys, but whatever.
Nope.
Cole Hamels.
Yep.
Blake Snell.
Yep.
Josh Smith.
Yep. So those are my 6 guys.
That's it.
I mean, the top 4 guys, and then, I guess top 5. There's a very clear top 5 for me, and then Smith is just the cheapest guy that I think makes sense. And he was actually projected a lot higher than I thought he would on the ranking, or the rankings and the projections on our site.
What do we have him
at? On DK, he is at 13.93.
Yeah, that's even higher. I had him in for 5 innings. That would have been close to it. I cut his innings back to 4.5. I have him at 12.3, but that's still good enough for me.
Yeah, so I weighed them versus my ranking. So I even bumped him down using what I have him going for, which is 4 innings, which is a very conservative projection. And I've got him at 9.44, and I'm still getting a bunch of them on DK when I aggregate with Alex's. So they're like, if Alex is willing to say he's okay playing him, and he's got him at that kind of projection, it's really, really hard to avoid him for me.
I have him 4.4 points ahead of John Means.
I have him for more points than Means as well.
Yeah,
there's no reason to play Means.
Nope. Sorry, I really like going at John Means for some strange reason. He's like the pitching Max Muncy, but at least Muncy's actually good.
There we go. Someone clip that, and every time Josh hates on Muncy, we can have that clip of him saying Muncy's actually good.
Well, yeah. I mean, like the Muncy thing became shtick. I never thought that he was worth his price tag, but like he's clearly an above average hitter in the league. Means is just bad.
Nothing better than when he was like 5,400. You just trash him and he donged first at bat.
Yeah, like I didn't need him at that point in time. I felt pretty comfortable with that. All right, so I'm with you on those top 3: Cole, DeGrom, Scherzer. I have Cole and Scherzer as essential equals on DK. I have Scherzer ahead of Cole on FanDuel, where he's $1,000 cheaper. DeGrom is 3rd for me in this group. And then it's just this weird, like, huge step down. Those guys are on their own island. And then I've got Snell and Hamels and Paddock, I guess, to a lesser extent, in the next tier. and then you're just stepping down to like Walker Buehler, Kevin Gausman, Merrill Kelly, Michaelis, Chacin. It's a really weird pitching slate. I anticipate having the large majority of my ownership between Cole, DeGrom, Scherzer, and Josh Smith, but we'll see how that shakes out when I start running some crunches.
Yeah. Are you talking about those four on DK or FanDuel or both?
Well, I will not have Josh Smith on FanDuel.
Right.
Now, like on DraftKings, I'm expecting to get like 75% of my ownership to Cole, DeGrom, and Scherzer, and the rest, the other 25% scattered about. But I expect Josh Smith to be the primary there. On my original crunch this morning, I was massively under the field on Cole Hamels, under the field on Snell, and a little bit under the field on Chacin.
Yeah, Snell's actually the guy that's coming up the least for me, which is concerning. He's a guy I love and I have projected for a bunch of points.
Same.
But yeah, I guess, got to play the slate, got to play the cards you're dealt, I suppose. And there are a bunch of other guys in his range and at a similar ownership that grade out just a little bit better. Yeah,
on a normal day, Blake Snell looks like an ace here. I have him hitting his target score on DK like 17% of the time, which is a really great score, especially for 9,700. The problem is that DeGrom, Scherzer, and Cole are all projected to hit it like between 40 and 50% of the time. So you're getting more than double the likelihood of Snell for, in some cases, $300 more. A worst case scenario, $1,000. They're just not even on the same level for me. So I can't help but just jam in Cole, DeGrom, Scherzer as much as possible. A lot of my construction will have two of those three. And I haven't really found it difficult, at least on my original crunch, to get to the bats that I want. So that's always nice.
Yeah, that's always nice. And everything just fits together real nice like that. We did get a rankings and projections update just now. If you do use those, or if anybody watching is a premium subscriber, which I'm sure a bunch of you are.
You should be. If you're not, live before lock, one big word is the promo code. You can get 50% off. Sign up with us now. So missed out on my office hours today, but you'll get plenty of options or plenty of chances to hop in for office hours with some of the other lovely gents that we work with.
That's right.
Do you do hockey ones?
So hockey's obviously a smaller crew, and we've tried it out. And it was right at the end of the season.
Gotcha.
So like a bunch of people weren't playing in late March. So we did like one, and it was good. I mean, there were a bunch of good questions, a lot of SC questions, which is what looks like from the stuff I read from yours. That's what a lot of them are about.
Yeah. Andrew Mock says, Adam had a great take on the early show with Jake about Chacin. What's your feeling on that garbage Nats lineup of 90% righties and weak bats? Chacin could be a steal for 6 innings pitched, 6 Ks, 0 earned runs. The Nats were my second most exposed stack as of my early crunch. So I'm anxious to see where that ends up. But if Chacin continues to be, around 20% ownership, I'm going to end up with a ton of Nats bats.
I mean, I don't have a problem with Chacin. It's just he's a guy I didn't find myself needing to get to based on how I want to construct lineups.
Yeah. So. I think we're both on the same page here. We would rather just spend $2,900 less and get Smith.
Yeah. I mean, they have a very similar raw point projection. So looking at ownership, they're close in that, I believe, unless we just got a substantial update. But do you have them on DK near each other? Smith and
19% Chacin on the last crunch, or on the last update. 13% Smith, I believe.
Okay, that's what I have as well.
Smith climbing quite a bit since this morning.
Yeah, and he should. I mean, he should climb even more. And they're right next to each other as far as raw points. So less ownership plus less salary equals, I think, a better play.
Come on, Mets. Come on, Padres. Get it together. Although, at this point in time, I can basically go ahead and run these. I don't anticipate getting a ton of Mets or Padres in San Diego, so why don't we start crunching, I guess, right?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start doing that as well. I'm waiting for a few bits of NHL news at
Oh,
6
okay.
Eastern.
What's
So
the NHL schedule look like tonight?
2 games, game sixes, Columbus and Boston. In Columbus, Blue Jackets looking to take it to a game seven. And then late night, my favorite series, the Sharks and the Avs. Avs also looking to send it to a game seven, so they're down 3-2. And at home, um, if anybody's playing hockey tonight, we're waiting on Columbus Lines, their coach Tortorella. I mean, you just never really know he's going to run out, and they had their lines in a blender all last game. So I have no clue who's skating with who, and that's kind of a problem when you're trying to make a bunch of lineups in NHL DFS.
That doesn't sound awesome.
No, it's a thing for Columbus. Like they always do this nonsense. He's just one of those old school coaches. He doesn't give information out about his lines, especially when his team loses. It's just really annoying and not necessary. It doesn't give them any sort of edge.
That would be incredibly frustrating. I'm so happy that I'm not dealing with that.
Yeah, so that's always fun.
Okay. What else can we hit on? Anybody, feel free to drop any questions you may have in Premium Slack or into YouTube chat. And in case you're not aware, there is a 2-game NBA slate going tonight, which means right now at the same time, I'm not trying to send you there. I'd like you to stick with me, but Fast Eddie Fear is live breaking down tonight's NBA games. So if you're playing NBA as well, just know that we have that content available to you.
We're like menu items. I mean, you've got a little bit of MLB talk, live before lock, NBA, live before lock, NHL. We're still doing stuff for that. I mean, we've got it all. Golf, Ben and Jason just crushing it over there as well. So we just got everything.
We never stop. I wish we did from time to time, but we don't. We do not at all. Okay,
Nope.
So in terms of ownership, I've kind of touched on it a little bit. You mentioned Chassin. Who do you expect to be most under the field on of those top 3 arms?
Let's see here. I will go to the handy column in Fantasy Cruncher, sort by ownership, and then I'll look to see what I have.
Very helpful now.
Yeah, super helpful. And it just updates automatically on the old FC Pro. So I'm playing Cole, DeGrom, Scherzer, Hamels. Looks like closer above the field on all those guys. I guess I'm gonna come in a little bit under on Snell, and then obviously over on Smith. But Chassin's the main one. Then I'm not really getting any of Bueller, Paddock, Perez, Stroman, or anyone in that range below.
It makes sense to me. I think you and I are gonna have very similar pitching exposures when we get to that point. And the last time that we mentioned that, I think things went really well for me and you.
I'm trying to think when was
the
last
day when I messaged you and said like, oh, I've got those 2 guys too, and you're like, oh, I'll see you at the top. I mentioned one other guy. You were like, maybe I'll see you at the bottom, but I think we both did all right after that.
Yeah, probably.
It's hard to keep track. I mean, all these slates run together.
Well, remember last year when I heard there were a vocal minority who said that we just take the opposite, and then
God, I forgot about that too.
They were suggesting that maybe we were colluding or something, or just trying to get more viewers by having opposite takes or something.
It would take so much work to do.
All right, you do this, I'll do this. Yeah.
Maybe if we were sitting in the same room, but considering we're 1,500 miles apart, it seems like a lot of coordination for no real gain.
Yep.
Who's your sleeper stack for today?
Sleeper stack.
What do you like that it doesn't appear anybody else does?
Stack ownership. Well, I thought it was going to be Miami, but I guess not, according to our ownerships we have here.
Okay.
I like Philadelphia against Michaelis. Michaelis isn't a guy I love targeting, but
that's not a Sean V take right now. Sean V very much against that.
He's against Philly?
All the righties, because Michaelis has only given up 2 home runs during a lunar eclipse in St. Louis on Mondays.
Well, I don't know if there's a lunar eclipse tonight. I am not an astrologist. I think that's the right word. Astrologist, stars. But anyways, I think the stars could align here for the Phillies. Harper is 4,500. That's outrageous. And then like McCutchen, Real Muto, I think are both at really quality price tags on DK. There's also, I think they're super cheap on Yahoo. Let me check here. We were talking about someone who's just crazy. Yeah, they're really cheap on Yahoo.
Okay.
McCutchen, 16, Harper 16, Real Muto 16. Hoskins the only one who's kind of priced into a range should be at $24, and then Segura 18. So I don't know. I would definitely take advantage of that on Yahoo.
Yeah, Yahoo pricing is like, you really need to pay attention because there are discounts out there that are staggering on a day-to-day basis. And if you're playing any sort of Yahoo cash, those are the things that you want to make sure you're focused on. Yeah. Getting every single dollar to be as efficient as possible is very important. So I just finished my FanDuel crunches. That's an exciting turn of events, I guess. We can check that out a little bit.
Let's hear it.
Let me start the 150 crunch on my 5-2s for DK, and then we can move on.
How many lineups do you usually crunch out on DK? I'm curious. Adam says
when I'm live, 300. I keep a very steady 75/150/75 pattern just so that I can be organized while I'm on the stream. I'll crunch more on days where I don't have to worry about talking and entertaining.
Okay. Yeah, I've been doing 600. It's been working out okay for me.
Yeah.
It's just, can you be you have to have some good time management, I suppose.
Yeah. You got it's a process.
Yeah. And it's always tough when you like get a lineup right in the middle. It's like, well, do I start over now or?
Yeah, that's why I try not to do anything until like maybe 2 left. Yeah. But yeah, when I'm on a stream, I just do 300. Otherwise, like trying to keep all my ducks in a row just gets unfun. Okay. FanDuel crunch results. 21% Cole, 17% DeGrom, 29% Scherzer, 9% to Cole Hamels, which is half of the field. I'm under the field on Blake Snell, over the field on Walker Buehler. But really, the only thing that matters, 68% of my exposure going to Cole, DeGrom, Scherzer. Not really seeing a situation where I want to take any particular stand. I am twice the field on the Red Sox, which I am not upset about in the least. I have everybody at least. I have 13. Okay, put it this way. I have 13% Christian Vasquez on FanDuel, and you don't need a catcher. So I have everything from Boston. I'm also 3 times the field on the Nats. Those are my 2 most exposed stacks, and they happen to be the 2 teams that I'm most over the field on. I'm also double the field on Cubs and Marlins. So I'm basically fading all of the hitting chalk. I have very little Blue Jays, half the field on the Dodgers, under on the Rays. If chalk hits today, I'm going to take a brutal beating.
Yep, that's usually a good side to be on. I mean, every once in a while in MLB, the chalk hitting will go nuts. I never have a problem being on chalk pitching because it's easier to predict. Not super easy to predict, but much easier than trying to predict a stack that's going to score 12 runs. So, yeah, when you're not on the chalk hitting, it feels wrong, but oftentimes that's going to work out for you in the long run, I think.
Now, obviously, I am on the chalk of the Red Sox, but I am of the opinion that they are not nearly chalky enough.
Yep. So, yeah, that's something Tom talks about quite a bit, and Alex as well. A team can be high-owned and chalk, but that doesn't mean they're necessarily over-owned if they're going to reach their target score more often than the amount they're owned. So I think that's something people don't realize as well. Like, for example, like if JD Martinez was $4,500 again today, he might be 25% owned, but there's 3 outfield spots. There's not a huge opportunity cost by taking one of your outfield spots with $4,500 JD Martinez, and maybe he should be in the winning lineup 30 or 40 or 35% of the time at that price, or that would be his expected amount of times he reaches his target score. So just because they're high owned doesn't mean they're over owned.
Absolutely. That's how I feel about the Red Sox right now. They are so massively ahead of every other team that I could not play them.
Agreed.
I just want to have a ton of these guys.
ownership update just now.
Okay, so I guess I'll stop pasting all of my stuff in. I don't need to run a recrunch. I mean, I can't imagine that they're super different.
So Carpenter has come up a little bit. He's the highest exposed hitter. Chris Taylor, wow, for the Dodgers. I mean, he wasn't expected to be in the lineup. I don't think we had him in earlier. Man, he's almost 30%. Is that right? I'm going to be under on that then. Wilkerson, way up there. So a bunch of cheap value plays. Like I think Seager should be up there for sure. 20+%. Marwin looks like he's going to be chalky. Shaw on DK. And then you're seeing some weird names in the teens like Rojas, Maldonado. I guess Zobrist. Zobrist isn't really that weird. Brian Anderson. So kind of makes sense with the chalk lineup construction. Of course it makes sense. That's only the obvious thing in the world.
I wanted to point something out. This is going to be really random, but I saw it right before we went live. There was someone recorded 2 videos of Alex's lineups changing on DraftKings as like things were happening. You know, it would show if you searched for Osimo in the tournament, it would show 8 lineups, and then someone went yard, and then all of a sudden he had 11, and this person thought that it was like incredibly nefarious. DraftKings doesn't show every single individual's lineups in the area on the left-hand side where all the scores are listed. They only show, I believe, lineups that are in the money.
500.
Is it 500? Okay.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, if you think that Alex had 8 lineups in the rally cap and didn't play the other 142, that should have been the first thing that tipped you off. But, yeah, just export the CSV and count the lineups first. You're not seeing all 150, and that's why that's why more of them are showing up after someone hits a home run, because he's putting more of them into the top 500.
That's why DK has the CSV export. You can do that at any time during the slate. As soon as it's live, within 5 minutes, you can download the CSV and look to see exactly who Alex played. I mean, you can do that now with lineup study after the fact, but yeah, it's.
So if you thought you were sleuthing something, you didn't do it.
Right. That's a very 2015 thing to bring up.
Yeah, I laughed pretty hard. I was like, "Oh, that's sad."
Yeah, maybe a new DFS player, but yikes!
Yeah, it's so bad. You know what time it is, right?
It is dong pick time.
It is dong pick time.
So, did you count my one from Saturday? I had Brantley. I did get one.
I didn't.
Okay. Did someone count it?
I mean, you should.
Okay. I don't have the sheet in front of me, but I know I got one on Saturday.
If it happens on Saturday, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know anything about it.
Maybe EMAC put it in there.
But we will remember that.
Did he dong? All right, here we go. I found it.
Yeah, that one's on you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I didn't get a dong on Saturday night. That much I know.
Saturday, May 4th.
May the 4th be with you. No?
I do know that reference. Star Wars or something.
I assume we're on the same page. I've never seen it.
I have not seen it.
Never seen a single second.
I watched it when I was a young kid, but I don't remember it. I used to like it as a young kid. Like,
I never saw any of them. I'm going to get my DK crunch in here now. I'm exporting as we speak. We can then make our home run picks and then talk about exposures.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so the refresh is going on the DK crunch, and then I'm gonna pick some. I'm getting a dong tonight. I might get 2.
Ooh,
I might get 2. I'm feeling good. All righty, taking a look at the table here. 3 Red Sox going 1, 2, 3 in my home run model. Any guesses as to who the 3 are?
JD Betts. Let me see this lineup.
2 for 2 so far.
Chavis
gets it.
Really?
Yeah, I figured you would lead to Pierce or something, but
yeah, I mean Pierce versus a lefty, but he's just probably the plate appearance expected value doesn't get him up there, right?
Correct. Only 4 projected plate appearances for me. Alrighty. I'm gonna do this. I should not. No, I can't do it. I was for a split second. I was gonna take Chris Davis.
What's wrong with
that? Not K. Do we know anything about this Padres lineup? Well, it's completely different. Great.
Yeah, Greg Garcia leading off.
What else? Is why I don't do work.
Reyes, Machado.
Well, here's what I'm going to do. Before I update for Padres ownership, let's make the home run picks, and then I'll talk about where that last crunch landed, and then I can worry about recrunching. So, my home run pick for today will be, drumroll please.
I'm very excited.
I don't even know who I want to take. I barely know who plays each other. I will take Anthony Rizzo.
Wow, that is pretty off the board. I mean, not like Rizzo can't dong, but don't see a lot of bats being targeted.
16th in my model today.
All right, that's definitely fair. Let's see here. Let's see if I want to do this. Yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm rooting for this guy. I'll take Vlad Guerrero Jr. against the Minnesota Jakes.
Interesting. Okay. I don't hate it, but he is 56th.
Oh. You'll be sorry for that ranking in about 40 minutes.
Alrighty. Exposures for me from a pitching perspective. A little bit different than I was expecting, but some clear fades coming on. 28% going to Garrett Cole, 50% DeGrom, 49% Scherzer, 1% Blake Snell at 18% ownership, 15% Cole Hamill, so quite a bit under the field there. And then 12% to Michaelis, 11% Chacin, 12% to Smith.
Man, I haven't heard a peep about Michaelis today against the Phillies. I didn't even consider him really.
Yeah, I mean, 3% ownership. He's pretty cheap.
He's not a bad pitcher either. He just doesn't get a lot of swings and misses.
Yeah, it's more of a bet on innings than anything else.
Yeah, you need 6 clean out of him or close to it.
And then for hitting, once again, Red Sox #1 with a bullet, close to double the field. This is a spot where I do have double the field of the Marlins, so that's fun. No other team that I'm taking a true stand on outside of maybe, I guess I have I'm quite a bit over the field on the Brewers, so just in case that goes south, I am on the opposite side. And that's the kind of team that I'm okay with having. Even in a difficult matchup, they have massive power, and if it breaks wrong, like it's probably breaking wrong with dongs.
Yeah, yeah, Scherzer does give up some some power to lefties. Like you'd think Yelich would have a decent chance to get to him. Same thing with Moustakas and Shaw. So I don't hate the Brewers. You were talking about the Brewers, right? I'm not just making that up.
Correct.
Okay. Vlad Guerrero Jr. dong, like the pick. Yeah, I mean, everyone's going to like the pick until he doesn't dong.
I'm rooting for you on that one, oddly enough.
I don't know. It just feels like people have kind of cooled off on him. But where's his ownership at? I guess I didn't really look at this. Yeah, I mean, he's under 10. Like, I'll do that. I'm going to have more than that for sure. We just got a ranking/projections update as well.
Do I want to wait out this Mets lineup, or should I go right now?
That's what I'm having trouble with. And it's probably going to depend on what happens here with the Blue Jackets warm-ups.
I actually got very little Mets on either FanDuel or DK on that first crunch, so I think I could safely do it and then just hot swap if I need to.
Yeah.
Because I got, like, the most I got 7% Cano on DK. That's the most I got of anybody, so that's a pretty easy fix. I think I'm good enough to just move forward and actually do the final crunch. Feel free to get your questions in now. If anybody has any dong picks, drop them in chat. If you got anybody that I don't know, like something good. Don't give me any Sean V nonsense. Give me the goods.
Give me the goods. Dong picks and goods. There you have it. All right, ours are tweeted out now, so we have a record of them.
Okay.
Thanks, Brett.
What I like to see. Did you say that we just got an ownership update or no?
We got a rankings and projections update.
Okay.
So
I will hold off on ownership until the next one goes. I assume that we're gonna need one since Kinsler isn't leading off anymore, and that's got to be a pretty big swing.
Yeah, I would imagine. Greg Garcia gonna pop up for some people.
Bold home run call. Cesar Hernandez.
Whoa. Out of the 7-hole.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that is bold.
Yeah.
It is a very bold call.
Yeah. Paul DeJong, Dong. I think that's a good one. Marcos stealing my Vlad Guerrero pick. We can share that. Harper. Yeah. Hayward.
Of the Cole, DeGrom, Scherzer trio, who do you think is most likely to get bombed? Scherzer? Cole?
I don't think Cole's going to get bombed with like dongs, but I think there is a scenario where he could get, I think it's somewhat likely, or the most likely out of those three, that like he leaves the game in the 5th inning because he lets up a bunch of stolen bases. He starts pitching with guys on base. Maybe he gives up a dong to like, is O'Hearn even in the lineup? But yeah, like someone like O'Hearn, and then you're kind of buried after that. But
okay. Yeah,
so he's going to be the guy I think I end up underweight on in that top tier. Not like I'm not playing him. I think I'm going to end up around 25% or so.
That's basically where I was.
Yeah. But Mondesi and Merrifield could be huge problems for him if things do go bad.
Yeah, I can't disagree there. Lots of dong picks coming in. Muncy, obviously, Freeman, Choi, Defoe, Zanino. Seen a couple Josh Reddicks.
Josh Reddick, man.
I mean, I've seen multiple Josh Reddicks, and then this most recent message is off the wall dong pick Reddick. So YouTube chat on Reddick, which means I'm going to fade this thing faster than I might just set his exposure to 0 now.
Man, I haven't played a lot of Reddick this year at all. Let me see.
I can't picture really playing him at all this year.
Okay, I got 14%, so I guess I am gonna play some of him.
Okay. I have no idea.
By the way, what is that? These lines, I think they may be normal, but I'll post them in premium NHL chat if anyone wants.
I was like, what lines? Brett going with Eddie Rosario for the dong pick. Sneaking in there now.
Yep. All right.
Eddie Rosario, Minnesota Jakes.
That's right. The Minnesota Jakes carrying everyone to the promised land tonight. Stroman's just never gets blown up, it seems like. He's just a really good real-life pitcher, or at least a solid real-life pitcher. Not someone I love attacking, but like me and Adam were talking about this morning. Okay, well, you start talking about guys you're not going to attack tonight. You have to play someone.
Mets lineup is in.
Oh, okay. Nice. Perfect. Oh, wow. That couldn't have worked out any better, actually. Don't have to do a bunch of changes in either sport. But like you go down the line, it's like, okay, do you want to pick on Merrill Kelly? Maybe Martin Perez. Okay, he's not a believer. Obviously, Means you can pick on, as we saw in his last start. Chassin, I mean, you'd like to be super confident in taking hitters against him, but Nats don't have Bryce, Matt Adams on the DL. Like, there's just not a ton of very obvious spots. So it's just like, all right, play the best pitchers and then see what stacks get filled in around it. And you just kind of have to be okay with targeting a guy like Stroman or Junis, although I don't think that's very difficult to target. But like Gaussman, he's not a gas can by any means, but we're probably playing a bunch of Dodgers here.
It's not out of the realm of possibility, that's for sure. I was massively underweight on the Dodgers on both sites. I had like 1/4 the field. What else is new?
You just hate the Dodgers. You hate the Braves. Man, you're just missing out on all the goodness, Josh.
Yeah, now I'm starting to feel like it's an NL thing.
Just NL bias. Is there something wrong in your formulas? Just count the pitchers as like part of the stack or something.
Yeah, that must be what I'm doing. What can we touch on here?
Quick question. A little bit off topic, but we'll get right back to it. Did you watch any of the Hurricanes game the other night?
I certainly did not.
Oh my gosh, the arena was absolutely going bonkers when they swept. So you've got at least four more chances. I don't think you'll be disappointed if you do tune in for part of one.
Who would they play potentially?
Boston or Columbus.
Okay. Well, I'm going to cheer for Boston because it would be more fun to watch that.
Why?
Nobody cares about Columbus, man.
They're the Cinderella story.
They might not even stream that series.
They're the 8 seed that took down the one of the best teams, regular season teams of all time, according to their win total. But yeah, I agree. I think Boston would be a more fun series.
Yeah, you're only going to get me to watch this if there's some sort of legitimate media presence. I don't know. Where do you watch hockey? Like True TV or some sort of weird station that's terrible?
NBC. Have you ever heard of it?
Was it like an NBC offshoot or regional thing?
No.
Is it on the Big Ten network?
No, but they have NBCSN. All of the Stanley Cup games will probably be on NBC, I would think. But yeah, it's not too difficult to find. Just got to give it a chance.
What a horrible person. Meanwhile, I'll watch a grimy stream of some like third level soccer team. Can barely tell which team's which.
Just start banking in NHL DFS again, and then you'll want to watch.
I'm just never going to pay attention to it, so I can't do it. The next thing up for me is golf. Is taking the time to build out an entire golf model. That's next on the list. I have to.
I mean, okay.
I want to sweat the weekends. I want to get back to watching golf. I used to watch it so much, and now it's just not a thing that I do. Ownership for the main slate is updated, which means it's time to finalize crunches.
Yeah, me too.
You guys can watch the entire process happen live in front of your faces. Find another person that's doing this. Go ahead, I'll wait.
Me.
Yeah, Jake. I mean, if Jake were producing, it would be Jake.
Yep, that'll be me tomorrow, myself and Chris Spags. We will be taking you up until lock tomorrow. I'm sure it's a 15-game slate, so we will not have a shortage of things to talk about.
I have not looked at it. Let's check the schedule.
Well, it's a Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean, I would expect it to be.
Yeah.
But I have not looked.
Thereby, that's tomorrow's business.
I like the way you said that. What do we got? Tuesday. It won't be 15. 13.
13, yeah.
There's a 6:10 start and a 6:35 start. So as long as FanDuel doesn't pull some shenanigans.
Do we know what the rationale is behind that? Is it a weather thing? They want to make sure it's still warm for people?
I assume they're just trying to be different.
Okay. That seems a little bit dumb.
Yeah, my assumption is the rationale is to annoy me. And let me tell you, when they do that 6:30 stuff, they're doing a bang-up job because that thing annoys me more than you would ever know. Well, no, you would know. It's the same for you. It makes it really difficult to produce content when you have to like slightly talk about it differently. It's not so bad when it's the difference between like a 12-game slate and a 13 because all of the main tenets are the same. You know, you're not talking about chalk any differently, but if it's like a 4-gamer or a 5-gamer, that's when it's really awful. It changes the whole scope of the slate.
Yeah.
Hate that nonsense.
It is a little bit unfortunate, but...
All right, so first FanDuel crunch is going in. I start running 4-4 crunches, and I move on from there.
4-4s and 5-3s take the longest, I believe, because it's harder to jam those three. And that's what I've noticed, but it does make sense. Just more restrictions, the more you stack.
Anytime you're using every possible player, it's going to be significantly slower.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, you know, just because you're trying to thread a really narrow needle. There are only so many combinations in that instance. All right, DraftKings projections are in, although I didn't delete them first. I'm so weird about like my process. Like, do you delete everything you do every time you go to FC?
No, not every time. In baseball, it's nice because they remove the players that aren't playing.
Right.
But like other sports, like NFL, actually NFL, they're actually really good about doing that. I think in FC as well.
Yeah.
But like NHL, if a guy's scratched or something, or he's not going to play, but he's still listed on a line, then I have to take his projection out, so I don't like get him as a one-off and then like manually X him out. But baseball, it's
I just every single time that I'm about to run it, I immediately go to remove everything and then go back and start from scratch.
not bad.
I can't do it. I don't know if it's just I don't know if that's a good habit to have or not. I'll talk to Dave about it.
What's the downside to that habit?
Time.
I mean, what, 3 seconds?
Yeah, pretty much.
I think you can spare 3 seconds.
I hope so, man. I hope so. Oh, guess who just went yard?
Moncada?
No.
Well, he did, but who else?
Did he really?
Yeah, Moncada went yard earlier.
Oh, I mean literally 24 seconds ago.
Who?
Unavoidable.
Oh, man. Did you play the turbo?
I did not.
Come on, man.
I don't generally mess with 2-game slates.
You're not living until you've banked on a 2-game slate.
I've been plenty alive right now. I've been too busy banking on all of the other slates.
Oh, okay. Vots just banked the 2-game slate. He beat me. I got third. He got first in NHL on Saturday in the big tournament. So
what is that? What's a 2-game NHL slate look like?
They have a $10. That's actually, I mean, the top prize isn't bad. It's like 5 or 10,000 depending on how many entries there are. It's just so top heavy that like you're kind of losing money if you're not putting in at least 10 or 20 entries when the max is like 70 or 88 or 123.
Do you dramatically change up your stack rules in a 2-gamer for NHL?
Not dramatically. I'm actually using a stack I've studied from Alex.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Like 3-2-1. Yeah, I learned how to do it. Actually, one of the guys in the chat, one of the other pros in the chat, kind of told me how he figured out, or he had a thought of how Alex did it, and I just tried it out, and it's worked for these short slates, 2 and 3 gamers. So gonna keep doing it.
3-2-1. Okay.
But I'm also using defenseman in the utility, which a lot of people don't. And I'm looking on lineup study every night and seeing just how many duplicate lineups do I have. Like, because on a short slate, you want to play good plays, but also be different somehow.
Sure.
And like literally under 10 of my lineups are duplicated out of like 70 or 80, which is pretty good, I think.
Oh yeah, especially if you're seeing results. I mean, you could probably make a bunch of unique lineups and take a complete bath. So if you're profitable and unique, that is the perfect combination.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the salaries too, and I'm using 49.8, 49.9, 50, like 50,000, and I'm still getting completely unique lineups from anyone else in the tournament, which is good.
Nice.
Yeah, 2 gamers have been fun.
Yeah, I try not to mess with it.
I'm just hanging on by a thread to the last few slates, and then it's all MLB. And I know, I'll go through some rough stretch and whatever, like late June, and be like, man, I wish NHL was back. Only 4 more months.
Yeah, I don't get the sense that I'm going to be trying to get rid of baseball anytime soon.
Baseball is just so much more chill, I think.
Oh yeah,
look
NBA really takes it out of you, man.
I can't imagine. Yeah, it was Jason. It was Jason Sullivan in YouTube chat. It was Brick. Brick's a stud. Super helpful as well. So
yeah. I mean, by the end of the NBA season, you're just like, okay, I'm good now. I don't need to see this garbage for a while. It's honestly like, for the most, like, it kind of sours me on watching the playoffs. I'm still watching it as much as I can, but like, it removed part of my passion for basketball because I was just so broken down from the grind of the season.
Oh, I bet. I mean, doing it day after day, or even like 6 days a week, it's like you're just going through box scores. Is it called Popcorn Machine? I think the one for NBA where it's like,
yes,
I have to spend so much time, or you need someone that's going to tell you how much time people are spending together and with or without you stats. And it's like that for NHL. Maybe not as extreme, but yeah, just like keeping up on news is so big in those sports. The fall, winter, early spring sports.
Remember when I said I delete everything, and that's usually really helpful?
Yeah.
Apparently, I didn't delete everything, and I just got a bunch of Ian Kinsler on FanDuel. So I'm hoping DraftKings didn't do the same thing.
Yikes.
Yeah, so that just means I have to recrunch.
No worse feeling than like the slate's locked, and then I've done it a couple times already this year, trying to do two things at once on the stream, and like, oh, I just played two guys in a lineup that aren't playing tonight. Good stuff.
It's not fun at all when you realize you made a mistake. It really breaks me down. I don't like when things are outside of my control. And like, I don't ever want to lose because I made a mistake. I just want to lose because I'm bad.
Right. I want to lose because I'm bad or someone else beat me, and then I can learn from them. Not, oh, you played, 6% of your lineups with the guy that wasn't playing. Well, that's just me being stupid.
Yep.
And not, yeah. So that's the good and bad thing about something like lineup study. You are going to see the mistakes you made, but also you can learn from them. So I'm already learning my mistakes pretty quick and trying to learn from Adam and you and Alex, Tom, like a bunch of the other top players in the industry as well.
Well, I have my DraftKings exposures, and there's been some changes.
Do tell.
70% Jake DeGrom.
Whew.
21% going to Cole. 39% to Scherzer. I have absolutely zero Blake Snell. 18% Hamels, so I've climbed a little bit there, but still quite a bit under the field, and still quite a bit of Red Sox and Marlins. It'll be an interesting day on DK. As long as the Red Sox go well, that's really all I need. Well, as long as one of them go well, that's really all I need.
I'm gonna regrettably end up underweight on Snell, which I almost never do. I mean, if you just tell me $9,700 Blake Snell is at home in a fine strikeout matchup, like big favorite on any slate, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's my highest exposed pitcher. For me to have almost none of him is going to be a tough one to swallow, but I guess I got to trust the numbers.
Yeah, it's tricky because there's nothing wrong with him. He grades out really well. The problem is there's a lot of guys that are better than him. And you don't normally have that happen. You don't really get a scenario where Blake Snell has 3 pitchers that are better than him on a slate. And when that happens, you end up not getting a lot. I still think he's a fantastic play. I'd say that he makes for an interesting tournament play, but I mean, he's clearly getting ownership, so it's not even that. He's just, it's not for me today. Not my cup of tea. But I assume I'll regret it in the end. Because I've been, playing infinite amounts of Blake Snell on just about every other day. So, alrighty, DraftKings lineups are in. FanDuel Crunch is getting there since I took a brief detour to roster some Ian Kinsler on a day where he's not playing. Just like I drew it up.
Yeah. Gotta play guys that aren't playing. That's the key.
Are you locked and loaded now for MLB, or are you still working?
I'm still finishing out. I'm 400 of the 600. So
are you running like 4 different crunches, like 4 150s?
Yes. So I'm running 5-3, 4-4, 4-3, 5-2-1.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm seeing Adam do some naked 4-mans. I'm also seeing Alex do that. So
I do naked 5-mans and naked 4-mans on FanDuel.
Yeah, they're doing it on DK.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Maybe the slates are smaller when they're doing that. I mean, I don't mind it either. I mean, anything they do, I'm gonna take notice of. So
yeah, I probably wouldn't do it on a day like today, but if on like a 4-gamer or something, for sure.
Yeah, so I just thought that was kind of interesting to bring up and see if you had seen anything that they were doing, or what would be the rationale behind that besides just differentiation. Because I don't think it's a slate where you need to start stacking less.
Right.
Like 9 games seems like a slate, you should be stacking almost as much as you do on any slate.
Yeah, I don't have any sort of different like I don't go about today any different than any other big slate. Usually at like 4 or below, I get really 5 or below probably is where I get most different.
Got it.
Alrighty, FanDuel crunches in, and we finish out 23% Cole, 27 DeGrom, 23 Scherzer, 12% Hamels. Still massive amounts of the Red Sox. Still over the field on the Nats, on the Marlins, on the Brewers. Whew, go Jake DeGrom.
I think I'm going to similar to you on DeGrom.
Alex in chat. 4 stack on DK. I just did that to throw you off.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure there's absolutely no rationale behind that, Alex. I'm just throwing money around, experimenting.
He just misclicked one day.
Yeah. 6 days straight, he just misclicked on the same 4-man.
Yep. That's what I would guess. That's what I would guess for sure. All right, FanDuel lineups are about to go in. I'm really excited to see how this slate shakes out. I won't pay attention to it all night, but it will be fun to open up my phone at like 9 o'clock before I go to sleep and find out how I did.
How often do you check? I guess this is a question for everyone. I mean, everyone's different. How often do you, like, when's the first time you'll look at your phone or your laptop and be like, all right, let's see where I'm at for tonight?
50-50 chance it's the morning.
So you don't check at all?
No.
So you don't even before you go to bed? Not
usually. Depends on what's going on. Like, Wednesday nights when I produce the golf show, I'm clearly just sitting at my computer and I'm checking that sort of stuff. But on a normal night, I'm not really checking. Like tomorrow night with me not being on live before lock, I certainly am not checking. I'm more likely to check on nights where like I'm just around.
Okay. That makes sense. I don't know. I just feel like I'm always around. So I check probably way more often than I should and get a little bit too emotional about where I'm at one way or the other.
Yeah.
Too early. I can't tell you how many times I'm like, it's like end of the night in whatever sport. And then I'm like, man, I just got waxed today. And I end up like losing 10% in the morning. So
if I see a 3-run home run or a grand slam, I'll check to see how much exposure I have to those events since they're going to probably play a pretty big role in the final. But like I don't start checking out solo homers and stuff because while you want them, you certainly need them from like multiple people.
Yeah.
So, if I see I don't know, who's Christian Vasquez 3-run dong, like I'm going to go figure out which lineups I have him in and like who I need to cheer for that it's also in those lineups with a lot. So if I find out that that's like 80% Garrett Cole, then I might keep a closer eye on the Astros box score.
Yeah,
but
that makes sense.
I'm more often than not, I'm just waking up in the morning and hoping the balance went up.
Take all the heart out of it. You take all the fun out of DFS.
All the fun part of DFS is being a nerd in Excel for the most of the day for me. I don't even. You could just tell me right now how I did, and I would like that to be cool with me.
Oh no, I love the swings.
I hate it so much. It's really annoying in baseball just because you get yourself all geared up. Like, it was either yesterday or Saturday. I had some Brewers, and the key piece for me was Hernan Perez and Travis Shaw. And they came up, and I believe Shaw grounded into a DP, and I was like, cool, this one's done. Don't have to keep watching. Like, they're not going to get up again for an hour. So the pause in between your guys doing things are really frustrating. Yeah. I do try to seek out important at-bats, and I rarely watch anything good. Although, who hit the grand slam yesterday? Oh, there were a bunch of them. I was watching, and it was like, oh, yeah, nice. That grand slam's helpful. I don't get a lot of those. 7:05 lock or 7:10?
7:05 Eastern. You gotta be respectful to those Central and Mountain and Pacific coasters.
No, that we don't have to do anything for those people.
Well, I'm one of those people, so I will.
We don't have to do anything for you. Is that weird to you? Is it weird to live somewhere where the time zone is not the primary time zone in speech?
it's the primary time zone of speech here. So
right, but like when we're like in DFS, no one's ever mentioning any time zone other than the Eastern time zone.
I mean, if I do, it's just easier to talk to you and me and Tom and Alex are in the same zone for the most part.
Yeah,
unless Alex is popping Cristal or whatever.
Yeah, who knows? The boss man can be anywhere.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I just say Eastern just because ever since I started working with all you guys, it's just easier for everyone. So I'm not 2 hours off or someone's not 2 hours off. So I probably overdo it, honestly. Okay. It doesn't bother me, though, if that's your question.
Oh, no. I mean, I wouldn't expect it to bother you. Any hot takes for you after looking at all of your exposures and stuff? Anything jumping out at you that you didn't expect?
I did get a little bit of Blake Snell. I got 7%, so I feel a little bit better about that.
Okay.
By the way, when you do create an empty crunch or whatever, if you use that feature, Dave, I'm assuming due to feedback from a bunch of people, probably not me, but he fixed it so you can now see the team stacks when you do that, which is actually super helpful because when I go to final 150, so I've got Milwaukee. Actually, man, I got a lot of Milwaukee 5-mans. Oof, that's pretty gross. But I also got a ton of Scherzer. St. Louis, Toronto, my boy Vlad, Minnesota, Tampa are kind of my top options. Boston, I got to a bunch in like 4-mans and stuff. And 3-mans.
If it makes you feel any better, I have a lot of 5-mans from Milwaukee as well.
Man, I think one too many for me, or maybe a few too many Milwaukees that I'd like, but that's what happens when you build more than 150.
Team I'm most nervous about tonight would be the Dodgers. It appears that I am half or a quarter of the public, so really be great if they just sucked.
The Dodgers?
Yeah.
I thought you were on them. I didn't get a ton of Dodgers. I got a bunch of Dodgers 4-mans.
They got hedged out since they're not really getting any ownership to the pitcher. They kind of fell a little bit. Mm-hmm. Like I have the Brewers and the Dodgers as basically equal stacks, and I have similar amounts of both, but I'm massively over the field on the Brewers and massively under on the Dodgers because the Brewers are getting pitching ownership and the Dodgers aren't.
Right.
Which is scary because I don't really want to target against Max Scherzer, but I mean, if you're going to do that, the Brewers are the team to do it.
That's what's great about not hand building in MLB too. Like the numbers are the numbers for a reason. If you do believe in like your ranking system or whatever, if you do play the ownership game, it's never comfortable hand building and being like, all right, let me throw in 5 hitters against Max Scherzer. But
right. Yeah, people need to remember that like the outcomes aren't binary. X% of the time, Max Scherzer is going to give up 9 runs in the first 2 innings. Yeah. It's a tiny number, but
I think more with Max, you're like, okay, can we get him like rack up his pitch count, get 4 or 5 runs on him in 5 or 6 innings, and then you need some luck with the bullpen type of thing.
Yep. I mean, you're begging for look. When push comes to shove, all that matters is that you got a bunch of home runs in your lineup. Like you're not winning with a bunch of singles and doubles. So hope that you found the game where the most home runs got hit, or at least the highest, most valuable home runs. It matters more than anything.
Sounds so much less like skill when you explain it like that, but it is true.
Yeah, it's. I mean, when I did all my research during the off season, stats that I thought would matter had no correlation whatsoever to reaching high scores. Yeah. I was shot. Like I was actively trying to find things that could be helpful and raise the accuracy of the model, and things that I thought were going to be important, extra bases and stuff, were just falling by the wayside because home runs they carried everything.
It's just such an event-based sport.
Yep.
That's inherently why there's so much variance.
So true. Well, there we go. Live before lock has come. Live before lock has gone. Best of luck, everybody. Jake, you got anything else? Anything you want to plug? Anything hockey related?
Plug? I don't think so. Just watch these guys tomorrow morning. I think tomorrow morning is you and...
It'll be me and Laffy, so we're probably going to start in about 15 minutes. That way we can finish it up around 10:30 tomorrow morning.
Yeah, you might want to do that. Me and Adam got done in about an hour today. It felt quick, so
I
I'm sure
tuned
you
in.
got,
It was nice.
yeah, I don't know. I felt like it was good pace, but I always like watching your guys' show, having it on while I'm doing my stuff in the background. So
That's what I did today. It's been a while since I've been able to do that.
yeah, you probably felt like you had to like respond back to me, at some point, or Adam.
I just I was there. I had answers. Like when you were just like, "Oh, I got to find that Yahoo link." I was like, "I got this."
Yeah, that's always nice having another producer that's not actually producing or supposed to be producing.
Yeah. Well, alrighty, guys. Live Before Locks, the promo code. Hit the like button on your way out the door. Subscribe to the channel, which is very helpful. Check out all the premium content we've got. I dropped a new Fantasy Cruncher Pro tutorial on lineup study. That is up on the YouTube channel right now, so go check that out. But thank you guys for joining us. Best of luck tonight. Go Red Sox, go Nats, and unfortunately, go Marlins. Later, guys.